entire economy, if you look at it, it is going under a structural change. The aggregator model or the e-commerce which is emerging, all industries or whatever you do in your life, everything eventually will get organized around that. It will be around healthcare, it will be around travel, it will be around, say, housing loans. So there is a big shift which is taking place in the economy. So obviously what will happen that the lending models will also change. Today we have ample number of examples like Ola, Uber, Oyo, Flipkart. They have brought a paradigm shift as far as the way the business is done in the country. And the bankers are also responding to that change. And whether the enterprise will borrow themselves or the enterprise will borrow less and enable the other players in the entire supply chain, that is where that change is coming. So today, I don't think that likes of Ola or Uber, they need to borrow. What they enable is the borrowing by what they call the driver partners, or a hotel chain like Oyo, which does not own even a single room in that sense. So they don't need to borrow. But what it enables the financing to the partners who are providing the hotel rooms or accommodation or their own even bed and breakfast residences. So the way I look at it, maybe the industry majors, their borrowing requirement will come down. Of course, it cannot be eliminated because if a large project has to be put in, then that only can be put by an industry major. But more of ecosystem or the logistics which a large corporate has, there will be opportunities for the banks and the lenders to support that ecosystem financing, which in a way is good that to a large extent even the concentration risk gets reduced. So that is a major change which is happening in the economy and consequently in the lending practices. 4th July regulations of IBBI, they have already addressed this problem. So going here after, they have very clearly said that no bids will be accepted after the deadline is over. So this is a situation which arose because of some judicial interventions. But otherwise, as a lender, I firmly believe that there has to be a timeline, there has to be a process, and once that the bids received, only up to that timeline they should be entertained, and after that it does not make sense that when everything is wrong and somebody comes up with 500 or rupees more and says I am the highest bidder. That is not the way, and we must have a finite time frame, because the intent when we say that 270 days or it is 180 days, by default it has become 270 days, because early resolution only can prevent the value preservation of the enterprise. The more we delay, the more the loss to the enterprise value. So quick resolution is needed, but because it is a new system, new law, so that's why some aberrations have come in. Biggest litigation is around 29A, and the second was about this bidding process. But with this 4th July regulations, I hope that we will see much less litigation and much more time discipline. Operational creditors, depending upon probably the importance in the mind of the resolution applicant, they put a value, and in the evaluation metrics that gets due consideration. And I definitely feel that the absence of institution which can lend for the projects, that is very badly being missed in the country. Even I think the bankers, we went overboard after 2008 in financing the projects, but did we have the necessary skills to assess the risk with the project financing that now looks questionable in hindsight. More and more reaching to the conclusion that it is increasing the risk because of the delayed decision making. And if I want to give the money, then I have to take from NOC from 28 bankers. Then how do I expedite my decision? I'm not saying that delays are not happening in my bank, but what I'm saying is that there are certain problems around the consortium and multiple banking, and definitely we need to put this in order. In mid-90s, up to mid-90s, it used to be consortium banking, and later on, because there was a complaint from the industry that it is delaying the process, we went into the multiple banking, but it has not resulted into any faster decision making, and it has led to more problems. So the one way is, of course, that limit the size of the consortium or multiple banks. It does not make sense to have too many banks. And when we are in consortium, also we will have to look at a like-minded banks. So there are banks with different risk appetite, different mindsets, which makes the task of managing a multiple banking environment or a consortium banking environment very, very difficult. For stressed assets, we have tried to address the through intercreditor agreement. But even for multiple banking, work is going on. So at least we should have an intercreditor agreement which lays down the framework. And the delay, definitely there has to be decision making within a time bound manner. I fully agree with that. There is no excuse for that, for not doing it. Crore people. So I'm not saying government should reduce the number of banks. What I'm saying is we should reduce the number of lenders in a consortium. Wherever there is for 1,000 crore facility, it does not make sense to have 20 banks. That is what I'm saying. If it is a 40,000 crore borrowing, probably you can't avoid having a large number of banks. But I have seen that even a small facility like 1,000 or 1,500 crore, and there are 8, 10, 12 banks available are there in the lending consortium, and which makes the task of decision making extremely difficult.